we have some breaking news now in the politics lead on the impact of the federal government shutdown in the United States. Multiple sources tell CNN's Renee Marsh about mass sick-outs at 4 major airports across the U.S. Hundreds of TSA employees who are working without pay right now have called out from work this week. At Dallas, Fort Worth alone, sick calls are up almost 300%, according to one source. Many are calling out to work other jobs. Aside from longer lines, some officials say travelers could also see fewer random pat-down checks in security lines. Also, as a result of this shutdown, defections among Republicans on Capitol Hill. House Democrats are making it clear they're not budging, refusing to put border wall funding in a bill to reopen the government. And a handful of House Republicans joined House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's team, and now 2 Senate Republicans seem to be on her side as well. But as CNN's Manu Raji reports, neither side has the numbers needed to force a bill to the president's desk.
2 weeks into the government shutdown, and most lawmakers are digging in, while some are growing impatient and demanding a deal without funding for President Trump's border wall. On the Republican side, Congressman Peter King sent a message to President Trump: don't pay attention to House conservatives.
The president should always be listening to the Freedom Caucus.
King joined with 6 House Republicans and House Democrats last night to reopen federal agencies shuttered over Trump's demands for billions for the border wall, but sided with Trump by opposing a separate measure to reopen the Department of Homeland Security.
I just thought it was wrong to hold those hundreds of thousands of employees hostage over an issue they have nothing at all to do with. I think the president should negotiate. I think the Democrats should negotiate.
In the Senate, Republicans Susan Collins and Cory Gardner, both facing potentially difficult re-election bids in 2020, also expressed their concerns, calling on GOP leaders to allow a vote on legislation reopening the government and let talks over the wall to take place later. But Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that won't happen without Trump's support.
The package presented by the House's new Democratic leaders yesterday can only be seen as a time-wasting act of political posturing. It does not carry the support of the president.
Some Democrats also growing impatient with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's refusal to compromise over the wall. So she should cut a deal, essentially, yes. Even if it...
in my opinion, I would let, and I know that there's some people in my party that don't agree, but there are people that are now not working and not getting paid.
You're worried that she's digging in too much.
Everybody's digging in too much, and you know who doesn't like it, in my opinion? The vast majority of the American public.
But in a private meeting today, sources tell CNN that most House Democrats were in no mood to budge, with even some of Pelosi's toughest Democratic critics standing behind her.
I completely support the Speaker's position on this.
Now, Mitch McConnell returned from the White House to Capitol Hill and told reporters that there would be discussions between White House aides and senior aides to congressional leadership through the weekend. Maybe, if they can come closer to a deal, be presented to them by early next week. But at the White House, it was noticeable at that press conference that Mitch McConnell was not there next to House Republican leaders and President Trump. Trump was asked about that. He said, well, Mitch McConnell is busy running the Senate, which is why he wasn't there. But the truth is that the Senate was out of session, Jake, and is going to be out of session until Tuesday. McConnell's aides tell us that they weren't told about that press conference. Otherwise, he and Senator John Thune both would have been there.